Hello and good morning. It's another beautiful Wednesday. It's the middle of the week and a midweek edition of your number one breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah, now it's the second officially the second round of the lockdown. 2 weeks once again. And as much as it might be as a bit frustrating, it's necessary to stop the spread of COVID-19. Really important that we all join hands together.
Honestly, we have to make sure we do this together. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for staying safe. Thank you for staying home. And we're going to do everything possible to make sure that every second is worth your while.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, we welcome you to the top-notch family entertainment show. And it's going to be... It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know about games. But yeah, lots of fun. Looking forward to lots of fun.
We're going to try and bring that energy, that life into the morning that you're probably like still in bed. Everybody is still in pajamas right now, right?
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally like throughout the day, people, I hear people don't take their bath.
They don't?
Just get through the day and, you know, whatever happens, whatever points the day meets you.
Just arrive.
The day just arrives. You know, people don't know like what day of the week it is. For many people.
It happened to me just once last week. I'll tell you about that later.
Yeah.
But we need you to remember that you need to strictly follow all health guidelines as we join hands together to fight this virus. We advise that you remain indoors. Make sure you wash your hands as often as possible. My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Okwe. Right now, we're online, tvcentertainment.tv, and on Facebook and TVC Connect as well. That's Facebook. You just search for TVC Connect.
Yeah,
and you'll find us.
Definitely. Yeah. Those comments, there are a lot of people commenting these days because there's just nothing else to do. Comment with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC on all social media platforms so we can see those messages.
Yeah, and download the app as well. The app lets you watch us anywhere you are in the world. Yeah.
So iOS, Android, whatever you're using, you'll be able to watch us with our app. Just click and watch.
Yeah, so starting the show, this morning we're going to be having Daily Vulnerable with Chudi Jidowo.
Yes,
I take it religiously. I know what I like. Over the past 1 year, I've had a really tough time in my life, really tough time. But in the middle of that, I still took my shutdown days. Take my 1 day that is dedicated to myself.
All right,
so
then.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
And,
all right, you can say it. You missed me.
I missed you.
Yes, you
Welcome
did.
back. Welcome back.
Yeah.
So even though you've been around, you were around on Monday.
Yeah, I was, but I didn't see you.
I was in the building, so welcome back.
Thank you.
You know that we've been doing this for 3 years, and almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And so it's, I saw a document the other day. I think we're like over 700 episodes of a show.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of episodes, and that's a lot of days to see someone, day in, day out. So
and then
after a while, they become like your right arm. So,
oh my gosh! But you know,
so the twins are celebrating their birthday.
Yes.
We'll talk about it.
They are celebrating
on the birthday shout out.
I will definitely be talking about that. But I wanted to talk about, I said the word online in the, it was scripted just now, and a lot of things are happening online, and it does feel like the world is shifting online in every possible way.
Yeah.
Relationships are shifting online. Work is shifting online. Education is shifting online.
Yeah.
And it feels like there is even the culture, the general culture, the way people think, the way they behave, everything is really going to shift online.
It's really moving online. So right now there's business transformation going on.
Yeah.
So it's almost like when email came in the late 90s. So from about 96, 97, then it picked up suddenly in 98 and 99 when people started having their own email addresses, which was very, it was still novel in 98 and 99. People didn't really have access to the internet, but everybody suddenly realized the importance of having an email address. Now, up until this point, there were people who were saying, email can.
What do I need it for?
So people were still doing, sending mails, physical mails, go to Night Post, put it in the box and all that. That was what they were used to. Even our parents, they were like, what's this one? They don't know if I send an email, where does it go? They were wondering, like, where exactly does it go? But now, at the turn of the century, 2000, everything changed. Everybody moved online. Everybody started getting an email address. So that's eventually what's going to happen.
I can remember someone asking, so my dad has a business he runs and all, and someone was asking for my dad's complimentary card. and it was supposed to print a new batch. And on the new batch, the information there was the phone number, address of the office, and there was no email. And this was about, this was like 5 years ago. And I just said, you know what, let me just open an email address from my dad. And I didn't realize that 5 years later, he would be needing it.
Yeah.
And, you know, so he just gave me a call one day. I was like, sorry, do you remember the password?
My email, yeah.
So everything has changed, and
Yes,
I think people need to start trying to adjust with it as well. And
so business transformation happening right now, and there's no going back. So it's almost like pretty soon we're going to be having on business cards maybe our Zoom ID or Skype ID and things like that, so that people can then contact you and say, I want to have a meeting with you.
Very true.
And you know, you then ask, is it via Skype? Is
Yeah.
it via Zoom or whatever it is? That's where we're going.
it might be the end of the meeting room, the boardroom as we know it.
Yes. It's time for us to take the newspaper headlines this Wednesday, April 15th, and officially the beginning of the second 2 weeks of the lockdown.
It's so interesting how the world has changed since. So it feels like I've been away for quite a bit.
Yes, it has.
And then I came back, and then everything about the whole world changed before I came back to work. But there's a lot of headlines. Let's just share the headlines. Let me start with
mostly driven by, of course, the COVID pandemic. But you're starting with the Punch.
Okay, let me start with the Punch. It says here, federal government plans isolation centers at borders, 4,000 tests daily. It also says here, government traces 9,029 contacts, conducts 7,000 coronavirus tests, as Lagos uncovers 119 with symptoms in 2-day house-to-house search. Wow, in just 2 days, house-to-house, 119 cases. Goodness me. Then we also have this. It says Lagos State government records 25 as cases jump to 373. Meanwhile, Oyo to test 2,000. From the photo stories there, we can see medical supplies from the United Nations to Nigeria to boost the fight against COVID-19 in Abuja. At the top of the page, it says IMF predicts worst depression, Nigeria's economy contracting by 3.4%. Amid coronavirus pandemic, Lassa fever kills 188 Nigerians. It says here 80,000 apply for CBN 50 billion naira COVID-19 intervention fund. That's a lot of people, 80,000. National Assembly leaders meet Buhari, seek SIP reforms. Meanwhile, airlines bidding for evacuation of Nigerians in US, China. Suspected killer of woman evangelist, 18 others paraded. And I'll wrap with this one. Ogun to suspend lockdown free days on Friday. Okay, that's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
All right, let's check out The Guardian. That has a different angle to the COVID pandemic. How 100 billion naira ticket refunds may cripple travel agencies. Wow. A bank collateral at risk as IATA insists on remittances, and British Airways, Emirates, Lufthansa pledge refund. It's worst crisis ever in the air travel sector. Wow. And a few stories here at the bottom. IMF again warns of recession in Nigeria. Revises nation's GDP to minus 3.4%. And economy may recover by 2.5%. NLC insists on debt pardon and moratorium. Up here, a bunch of stories on the cover of The Guardian. Delta imposes curfew to track COVID-19 contacts, extends lockdown. And TB vaccine doesn't contain coronavirus, WHO clarifies. Lagos communities resort to self-help to keep vigil to check robbers. And 5 test positive, 1 dies of coronavirus in Katsina State. Yeah, and that's it on The Guardian.
We still have quite a few papers left. It says here on the cover of the Nation newspaper, military deployed in battle against Lagos Ogun gangs. Now, I think this is the first time I've actually, heard the word gangs being used, to describe these groups of people that have been raining basically terror on certain communities in Lagos. It says here, government moves to stop robberies. Agbakoba, others seek nationwide lockdown. NCDC to raise testing capacity to 4,000 daily. Presidency cautions PDP. Page 29 has more on that. Court frees Caverton pilots, others in rivers. That's on page 29. Right at the top here, it says customs yet to hand over 110 trucks of rice. Minister says only 40 released. Lawan Gbajabiamila and to Buhari review SIP, it says. COVID-19, EU gives federal government 50 million euros. Team visits Buhari. Moving to the bottom left here, it says CBN develops 3.5 trillion naira 3-year recovery plan. Global coalition to G20. Nigeria, others deserve debt cancellation. Now, that's an interesting turn of events. And that's what we have on the cover of the Nation.
Yeah. And we've got the Nigerian Tribune here. Nigeria heading into its worst recession in over 30 years, says the IMF. Wow. And 20 million Nigerians may lose jobs, experts warn. And EU donates 50 million euro to Nigeria to fight coronavirus. Fund to be channeled to basket fund, says SGF. And Makinde flags off testing of 2,000 Oyo residents for COVID-19. And Nasarawa governor intervenes to resolve Tiv Jukun crisis in Taraba, Benue. And police arrest female armorer of kidnap gang. Wow. And recover 21 stolen cars, arms, ammunition. And COVID-19, total lockdown of North will come at very high cost, say governors. And Ganduje orders 7-day lockdown in Kano. And a few other stories here. How I survived COVID-19 by Ireland-based Nigerian. And why Amotekun has not taken off. And this is by the Dawn Commission. Emefiele announces 3 strategies to strengthen economy. And up here on the cover of the Nigerian Tribune, China approves 2 coronavirus vaccines for human trial. Wow. And we identified 119 people with COVID-19 symptoms during house-to-house search, say Lagos government. And Osun Delta extend lockdown by 14 days. Ondo imposes dusk to dawn curfew. Ogun will be on total lockdown from Saturday. And Nigeria records 19 new cases. Total now 362. That's it on the Tribune.
I still have the Daily Sun with me here. But I want to touch on a picture on the cover of the Nation quickly.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I missed this. It says here that this is a Turkish woman who is 107 years old. And she's being wheeled out of the hospital by her grandson after recovering from coronavirus disease.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's a 107-year-old woman. And that's her grandson behind there. The medical workers at the back there, applauding her as she's being wheeled out of the hospital.
And then speaking of recoveries, I see on the cover of the Nation there as well.
Yes.
466,000 recovered worldwide.
Yes. So it's, there is hope. There is hope. Of course, the number of deaths too has risen and it's quite alarming. It says 125,344 recorded deaths as at the time of this report. And it is alarming, and hopefully there's hope on the horizon. We have the Daily Sun newspaper here, and the main headline is Lockdown, Anxiety as Criminals Hoodlums Terrorize Lagos Ogun. IGP reads Riot Act, vows decisive action. Beside the masthead there, it says Nigeria heading for worst recession in 30 years, according to the IMF. And Buhari meets NAS leadership on that issue. Court grants Caverton helicopter pilots, others bail. On COVID-19, CBN unfolds policy measures to save economy, businesses. EU boosts COVID-19 response with 21 billion naira grant. UK to evacuate nationals. Imo government to probe Ihedioha over 19.6 billion naira LG fund. Ex-Sosoliso airline chairman dies of COVID-19 in London, it says. Lagos records 203 cases and 7 deaths, discharges 70. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun.
We've got the Vanguard here, still on COVID-19. Says this is an alarm. Infection now at community level, says the federal government. Adds 9,000 persons of interest traced out of 14-day observation. Urges strict observance of containment protocols. We're targeting 4,000 tests daily, says NCDC. Don't allow criminals take advantage of lockdown, IGP tells AIGs and CPs. And a few other stories here. NMA probe UITH consultant over alleged concealment of patients' medical history. And why federal government won't share private donations as palliatives, says Lai Mohammed. We can't afford lockdown, the northern governors say. And up here, a few stories, how to turn COVID-19 tragedy into opportunity, the CBN governor says. And he also says CBN to establish 15 trillion infrastructure company. Lockdown, Sanwo-Olu orders clamp down on hoodlums. Lagos to commence cash transfer to 250,000 indigent youths. COVID-19, Nigeria's economy to contract by 3.4%, say IMF. And then we have some COVID-19 updates here on the left corner. I don't know if the camera can see that. And a breakdown of all the states. Now, not all the states in Nigeria have recorded COVID-19 cases, but here we have Lagos at the top with 203 cases, and the FCT 58, Osun 20, Edo 16, Oyo 11 cases, Ogun 9, Bauchi has 6 cases, Kaduna 6, Akwa Ibom 5, Katsina 5, Kwara 4, Delta 3, Enugu 2, Ekiti 2, Rivers 2, Ondo 3, and then Benue, Niger, Anambra 1 each, and finally Kano 4. And then the breakdown is goes like this. The cases now are 362 in Nigeria, and deaths are now 11 deaths, and 99 people have recovered, and serious or critical cases are now 2. Wow. And these are the stats. These are the stats, COVID stats. Across Africa, of course, it's 15,000 cases total across Africa. The deaths are less than just over 850,000. And 3,000
international.
No, Africa.
Africa, okay.
Africa. Now, recovered across Africa, 3,000 people. And then we have 171 cases that are critical.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's the numbers do seem alarming, but we're going to be taking our time to give you this information as much as we can every single day. We are going to be taking a quick break, people. There's still so much more to come on.
Shut down, and I take it religiously. I know what I like. Over the past 1 year, I've had a really tough time in my life, really tough time. But in the middle of that, I still took my shutdown days. Take my 1 day that is dedicated to myself. And when people say to me, they say, I want to be like you when I grow up. You know, that's what they say to me all the time, because they think that it's because I have so much money or so much whatever. That's why I can afford to do this. But it's not true, because you know people who are much wealthier than I am, more famous than I am, more powerful than I am, who never take time to rest, never have enough time. My first job out of university, I always tell this story. I chose to take the job I chose to work in a company in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria, over a company in Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. And one was paying me 175,000 naira, and the other was going to pay me 350,000. And I made the choice to take this one that was going to pay me 175,000 naira because I didn't want to spend 4 hours of my life in traffic going to the island, because comfort matters to me. And so when somebody looks at me now when I give this advice and say, yeah, it's because you have money, I think to myself, nope, it's because I have sense. It's because when it's time to make a choice about your life, it's important not to just choose something because it will make you more money. It's to ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to live as a human being? If you're just coming out of school, for instance, and you've not yet learned how to prioritize what is important to you, and you think it is when you make money you will learn how to do it, I am here to inform you that you will never learn it. The skills you learn to make yourself happy now are the skills that will help you when you become 40, 30, 50, 70. If you don't learn how to do the things you love now, you may never learn them until one day you wake up and your life has flashed and gone right in front of your eyes.
Always something nice to take from those daily vulnerables, you know?
I mean, sometimes people find out that their lives are passing them by.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of control, especially when you have bills to pay. And, you know, so it's not that simple to just say, don't take that job, take this job.
So it does really just depend on your perspective. You know, I mentioned to someone, you know, that I was on the Third Mainland Bridge for at least an hour and a half, give or take, every day. And that was driving me crazy. And I know there were people that were doing 3-4 hours on that bridge a day, or on the roads, at least in Lagos a day. And it was, it's kind of refreshing for people to get rest, actual rest. Now, people are at home actually resting. So a lot of the time we take leave, and then you're hustling, do you leave?
You're not resting. And it's, so it took, the number of people I've spoken to, and they said that it took them a few days to adjust to not doing anything. Because, you know, especially if you live in a city like Lagos, you're always on the move, you're always active, your brain is always working, you're always trying to get something done, you know, go out there and get it done. But now that there's a lockdown, you're then forced to be more introspective, confront yourself. If you're married, confront your husband or confront your wife. You know, making sure that, you know, you're in your own space and just getting in touch with yourself once again.
Speaking of confrontations, you know, there was a spike in the US. I'm not sure, I don't have any stats about Nigeria, about divorce lawyers getting a lot of phone calls. People actually were basically just acting like roommates. They go out to work, come back, and then the remaining few hours that you're awake before you go to bed, you manage the space with this partner, and then you know you're going to be out in the morning anyway, so it's like, I'll manage. But now, everybody's at home 24/7. It's like you're in each other's faces, and it's just giving a lot of revelations to some people. But then again, on the flip side, it's also really helping a lot of people to bond, understand how important family is. A lot of people are calling family members they've not called in a long time. I know you've probably done that.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, yesterday I even had a Zoom meeting with a few family members. And we're talking about, you know, a number of things that there's a project that we're on in Abuja. So we had a discussion about that with pictures and stuff. So this is the time to do all of this and reconnect. And we're talking about how business processes and businesses will be transformed by this, meaning that I'm sure there's a lot of companies who are going to say, maybe on Fridays, everybody work from home. So that's going to begin to happen. And once you say everybody work from home on Fridays, it means that at 8 a.m. we're going to have a Zoom meeting, maybe for 30 minutes or an hour. And then after the 8 a.m. meeting, everybody goes with their tasks.
Things done.
Come back at 11 after you've gotten your tasks done. So once you have tasks staggered all through the day till 5 p.m., really, especially if your job is based on, you know, doing stuff on the computer or whatever it is, really you don't need to go into work. So probably 1 or 2 days, companies should start experimenting even after the lockdown is lifted.
And when you think about it, especially in a place like Nigeria where people pay for diesel to run generators for those same staff to be in the office, they're going to be cutting down on costs of fuel for gen. They're going to be cutting down on costs on electricity because all the computers will be off, all the ACs will be off, stuff like that. And generally speaking, there are just a lot of things people never thought about. So I'm still concerned, though, about you know, that social bond that we've always had. I said on Monday with Mary that I feel like Africans, well, people around the world have been been very affectionate, and we didn't realize how affectionate we actually were. Now, the fact that you can't give someone a hug, the fact that you can't pat someone on the shoulder, the fact that you can't shake someone's hand actually feels like we're losing something, losing a part of us. And I also feel like there's a lot of love to give, and there's like almost nowhere to direct that
so
energy
you direct that energy online or whatever. I mean, so
sure?
there are a lot of people who I do realize that there are a lot of people who live alone, and who might find out that they're lonely, and you know, maybe they don't have people to reach out to and stuff like that. So maybe this is also a time, like if you know people who live alone, to reach out to them, find out how they're doing, check up on them and stuff like that. I'm sure really, I mean, this is the time that people will really appreciate things like this.
Someone told me yesterday that there's some people that are going to come out with master's degrees by the time this, you know, lockdown internationally is over, because people are taking courses that they always wanted to take. People are thinking of, you know, adjusting their mindset about careers. People are learning, reading, watching. They've had bookshelves of books that they never got to read, and now they're reading them. So people are going to be more knowledgeable, going to be more forward thinking, and by the time we gotta get out of this, of which we will by God's grace, we're gonna be a lot better for it.
Yeah, so yesterday and also on Monday, we talked about the incidences of the spike in crime, especially within communities over the past few days. Different locations reporting crime: Ikorodu, Blaq, Agege, even Ogba, and a number of other places that would have been relatively quiet and crime-free, especially at night. But we've had spiking cases. And of course, the police, the Lagos State Governor responded, and the police as well. Ogun State Governor also responded as well, and the police have been deployed. And we're talking about the fact that this period, youths can also get restive. And when people get restless like that, they want to move around. Just because they don't have anything to do, you know, they just want to go out and do something, and let me take a trip, you know. So we're talking to people to be careful.
True.
So that you're not, and when you go around, go with an ID card, even in your area.
Especially in your area.
Even in your area, if you're walking on the road, make sure that you have an ID card on you, so that when you're stopped by either police or vigilante, you can identify yourself. Not a situation where you're then mistaken for a criminal because you can't identify yourself. Where's your ID card? Who are you? That kind of a thing. Yeah.
It seems like we have someone on Zoom. Mike is on Zoom right now, standing by to talk to us. How's it going, Mexicano? Mexicano. How's it going, Mike?
Can he hear us?
I think he can. Can he hear us? I hope he can. But he's looking good. He's not looking bored.
He's looking fresh.
Looking very fresh.
So I'm not sure he can hear us yet.
Maybe he can.
Yeah, so I was saying, so very important, you know, people, when you go out with an ID card, even if you're going out on foot. You know, make sure that you carry some kind of ID with you. Imagine if a police van just parks in front of you, who are you? Identify yourself, and you can't identify yourself. You're going with them. So yeah, it's important to do that.
Please do.
And yeah. So.
All in all, still do as much as possible. Avoid being on the road if it's not necessary for you to go out. Don't just hang out, hang around. Don't as much as possible, stay in your own space. It's just safer. Stay indoors. There's so many different surveys and tests and all that being done about how this particular virus is spread, and the best idea is for you to stay at home.
Yeah.
With regard to safety and security, there was broadcasts going around about people showing lavish lifestyles and things like that,
on
social media. Now is not the time. Not only is it a little insensitive, it's just a lot of attention, drawing a lot of attention to yourself, and you just don't know who's watching or who knows where you live. So that's also pretty important.
Another thing I'd like to add is, there are a lot of people who earn daily pay. So we talked about this as well yesterday. So people who earn daily pay sometimes might be facing a greater challenge than people who maybe earn a monthly salary. So you expect your salary to come in at the end of April. So if you do a bit of work at home, you're going to get paid. So for such people, the Lagos State government says that there will be palliatives to extend to them. And also among the intervention funds going around, there's also 500,000 youths that they want to extend some help to as well during this period. So I think these are little things that I think will help, especially for those who it's tougher for them. There's some people, families that it's just a bit tougher.
There was a conversation I can't remember whether it was online or on TV now, someone was having, talking about the fact that if you have domestic staff or drivers, security people that used to work with, people, that used to work around you, and you're wondering whether to pay them a full salary or not, and you're just, there's so many things to think about. Have conversations with them. Extend hands of, what they call it now. Extend, yes. So just give as much as you can, because you just don't know.
A helping hand. So there are there are two sides to what you just said. There are people who are paid based on what comes in. So for instance, if I'm running a shop, a spare parts shop, right? So maybe typically for my spare parts shop, I do a turnover of $500,000 in a month. So that's where I pay salaries from and all of that. So there are people who, maybe the shopkeeper, for instance, gets paid out of what is sold in the shop on a monthly basis. So in those kind of instances, it's going to be very tough for the owner to then continue to pay 1 month, salary, 2 months after. So negotiation is important at this time, instead of just cutting them off and saying, okay, go out. So negotiate with them that, okay, you know what, you're not coming to work for 20 days, so you're not spending transport. So maybe we should take that out, and then maybe then help them with something else, just a little bit. So those kinds of things help in just, getting everybody to survive this.
And surviving it is important, but there's one thing we do know. We can only do this together. We need to all be together in one mind. Don't just avoid the conversations. We have to keep them going. All right.
We have some special birthday shout-outs coming up. And no cake this period. Unless it's homemade.
Who said?
You know how to make cake.
I'm dynamite, so you don't know me. You don't know me. I bake, baby.
We shall see. We shall see after this break.
Don't worry.
So if you're at home, do a dance.
Yes, do a dance.
Do a dance and get somebody to record it.
Yourself.
Or, if you're alone, put a camera somewhere and do a dance. Take a photograph. And just do something that you usually won't do on your birthday.
Celebrate yourself.
Celebrate yourself.
It seems Mike and Tokwe are on Zoom right now. And they've been standing by to talk to us for a bit. Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
The young lion. And the dynamite.
Yes, sir.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
How you guys doing?
Welcome back. Oh, cool. Oh, good.
Nice.
So you're probably seeing the birthday shout-outs, so this is your opportunity.
Happy birthday to Amber.
Yes, this is what I was waiting for. Like, it's your opportunity to, give them shout-outs.
Uncle Mike.
Uncle Mike.
Aren't you gonna say happy birthday to Amber and Ruby?
Please tell Amber and Ruby should tell their mom to grill today. I'm coming for the grill this afternoon, 2 p.m. live, right? I heard that.
Down in your house. It's lockdown.
We're self-quarantine, staying home. It's locked down. The chicken is for Amber and Ruby, and possibly me.
Nothing will go wrong.
What did she say? I didn't hear.
She said if you bring the chicken to the office, nothing will go wrong.
No. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do.
Because I'm wondering why Tokwe has perfect makeup at 7 a.m. I don't understand.
Auntie woke up like that. She woke up like this.
I woke up like this. Like this.
You woke up like how? You wore the wig to bed, have you? You wore the wig to bed. Yeah, we know. We know. But you know, it's great to see you guys. You know, it feels like we're all together again.
Yeah.
You know?
What's your area like? I know Tokwe is in Lekki. Mike is somewhere on the mainland. What's it like in general? Because I know that security has been beefed up everywhere around Lagos.
What's it like?
Okay, so there's something I mentioned yesterday. For the past 2 days, you know, the vigilantes have been kind of helping with security in different neighborhoods. So there's a video that was trending online of supposedly it was supposed to be hoodlums who were raiding. But what actually happens is that it was a group of vigilantes. So what the vigilantes do is that at about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, they come out and march, maybe with cutlasses and sticks and all of that, in a kind of a show of power. You know those kind of military parades that they normally do, show of power kind of stuff. So it's more or less like to tell the people that we are around and all of that. So it was not, that video trending was not a video of hoodlums, it was a video of vigilantes. So security is getting better. They are burning tired and all of that, but vigilantes are helping, and of course, police and some army have come in. So security is looking good in some areas that had problems some few days back.
Yeah. So that's good. That's good
I was wondering, I wanted to ask Tokwe, what was your first reaction when you found out that there was going to be another 14 days? What was the first reaction? What was the first thing you did? Was it like a happy thing, or was it like a confused thing, or were you like, okay, relieved? I don't know. What was your reaction?
I was just like, oh my days, another 14 days. Like, how on earth are we going to cope? Like the first 14 days, I think as it was rounding off, I was beginning to feel better, like life is going to pick up again. And then the moment they announced for the second, once I won't lie, like I lost slight depression that came. But I mean, what we do, it's almost like becoming our life now. I mean, we're just going on our second, like on our next 14 days, and some countries have gone on 2 months, 3 months. So I'm just feeling like I'm just probably going to have to get used to this, so it doesn't affect my mind negatively.
So that's good. That's actually very important. It affecting the mind. And I was watching something on TV yesterday, and they were talking about the importance of 1, routine, and 2, staying active.
Yeah.
So have a routine. So if you wake up in the morning, whether it's prayers, exercise, breakfast, make sure that it's the routine, so that that becomes.
We have to say bye to you for now, but it's great seeing you. It's great hearing from you. Can't wait to see you guys in the studio once again soon.
Yeah.
With our
chicken and
this chicken matter.
Grilled chicken.
This chicken matter.
What studio?
Please grill chicken. Please grill the chicken in your house. There's the social distance.
From that chicken.
So people don't understand that when I use charcoal to grill chicken, it's because I'm trying to save gas. So please don't be confused. We are going to be back after a quick break. Wake Up Nigeria continues. Hello. Hopefully you enjoyed the first hour of the show. We have another 1 hour, 45 minutes to go, filled with premium family entertainment.
It's prime beef.
What? Yeah, it happens.
And it's another refreshing 1 hour coming up. I like how they say refreshing 1 hour, like hour of refreshing. It's your hour of refreshing.
Amen. We have quite a bit coming up.
Loads of stuff coming to you. And it's going to be nice this morning, I assure you.
So we know it's going to be another 2 weeks of being at home, but you should see it more of an opportunity to find out what makes you tick. You get in touch with yourself a lot more when you're at home. You're like, what do I do now? What have I not cleaned?
Yeah.
Which outfit have I not worn?
For the first few days, I tried to read a book.
Yeah.
Like an actual physical book, and it was difficult. It was tough to get through.
Yeah.
And then what I did was that I then discovered that there are these books where there's a code behind it that still lets you download the e-book. It was easier for me to read the e-book. I was surprised. But yeah, that's what happened.
So speaking of books, I'll tell you something when we sit down later. Let's tell everyone what's happening. now.
When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. I like that. And you know that book, Tough Times Never Last, but tough people do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's actually very true. Thank you so much for joining us on the second hour of the #1 breakfast show on TV. My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Okwe. Check us out online right now, live, tvcentertainment.tv, and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Now, this amazing app we're talking about, everybody's online, so don't fight it. Just download the app so you have us close to you. Android, iOS helps you watch us from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, now to ensure your bedroom space looks fabulous, especially during this lockdown period where you have a lot of time on your hands, we're going to be having the creative director of the exclusive Lifestyle Interiors joining us. Tunde Shano is going to be talking to us about 8 ideas for the bedroom space.
It's very important, bedrooms. You know, you never really think about it until you have to stay in it for a long time. Then, of course, we have the delightful Chef Belinda, who will be whipping up something special in the kitchen. It's going to be really great.
Vegetables and sausage. We sauteed vegetables, then add the sausage to it. That's what we're doing next. Just add using the same pan, just add little.
Then we have joining us on Life Hacks. Now, she'll be showing us how to make a carrier bag from cloth. I can't wait to see that.
And relationship expert Theo Akatuba will be joining us via Skype to talk the love languages of couples during a stay at home.
Yes, indeed. Then finally, we have stand-up comedian and singer Otolorin Kehinde Peter, popularly known as Kenny Blaq.
What do you want for Valentine? Goodbye, my lover.
Yeah? A mixture of comedy and music
and
there.
he's a really good singer. So I was thinking, you know, just to make things fun for our viewers, we should probably have a challenge.
Okay.
Of some sort, and give away like 5,000 naira in airtime.
Ooh, Mr. Yomi feeling generous.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling generous.
Generous, you're
You know
feeling.
I'm rich like that.
Hey.
5,000 naira in airtime, but I don't know what the challenge should be.
What should the
challenge be? We should think about.
Yeah, we will. We'll think about it. Don't worry.
We'll think about a challenge and then put it out there, and all you need to do is just respond to the tweet with whatever.
We ask you to do?
Yeah, whatever we ask you to do. Don't worry, we won't tell you to do anything difficult.
Not difficult. It'll have to do with something on the show. That's what it'll be.
Yeah, or maybe take a photograph of yourself watching the show. So that's good. You know, some people just go online and there's a challenge and then they respond to the challenge without actually watching the show. So take a photograph of yourself watching the show.
Someone mentioned...
And tweet at us. Respond to the tweet, yeah.
Someone mentioned that a lot of the meals that the chefs had cooked in the kitchen over the past 600 and something episodes, that they've tried some of them and they all came out really nice. And it'd really be great to see some of you now that you're at home, that you have time. Try out some of those recipes. They're on our YouTube page. All you have to do is just search for Wake Up Nigeria on TVC on YouTube, and you'll see loads of clips of amazing meals made over years of chefs coming to the show. You should try them out, especially since a lot of the chefs used to use minimal ingredients. And they used to use them in very nice ways. So you know that you're not spending too much or you're not using too much of these ingredients to make some of these meals. So it's really great. There's a surprise, actually, on Amber and Ruby's Instagram page that we'll be announcing at 2 p.m.
you're going to be at 2 p.m. today. So it's going to be a party.
Something really great.
Are you guys going to have a DJ?
Is
a virtual
DJ?
Virtual DJ, doing a mix?
I'm not really into virtual DJs, but, Bluetooth speaker is fine.
Okay.
Bluetooth
so
speaker is
fine.
fine.
That works.
So thankfully, there's a lot to be thankful for. There's a lot to... look forward to, and I just would love parents to try and start talking to their kids more, having conversations with them. It's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
It is. Welcome back. It's a second look at the newspaper headlines.
Yes, indeed.
And it looks like you're starting with the Daily Trust.
Okay, I have the Daily Trust here in my hands, and it starts, of course, with the COVID-19 lockdown violation. It says here, fear heightens over community transmission in states. People still gathering in markets, worship places, interstate transportation on the increase. Only 0.1% of Nigerians tested. Experts warn of out-of-control scenario. Then, of course, as is common with the Daily Trust, they have an infographic, quite detailed on the COVID-19 testing ratio around the world as of the 13th of April. As I said earlier, it says 0.1% of the population have been tested in Nigeria. That's about 5,000 people. But the highest number of tested people in any country is in Italy, which is recording 1.01 million people tested. That's about 1.6% of their population as well. Quite a lot of information there. It also says here, Ganduje locks down Kano for 7 days. Buhari orders 4,000 coronavirus tests daily. 3 weeks after passage, economic stimulus bill not ready for assent. And it says here, Lagos keeps vigil at night amidst increasing robbery. Nigeria's economy to contract by 3.4%, according to the IMF. And finally, Councillor absconds with COVID-19 palliative grains in Niger. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust.
Yeah, we've got the Nation next. Military deployed in battle against Lagos Ogun gangs, and government moves to stop robberies. Agbakoba, others seek nationwide lockdown, and NCDC to raise testing capacity to 4,000 daily, and customs yet to hand over 110 trucks of rice. And Lawan Gbajabiamila to Buhari review SIP. And finally, on the cover of the Nation, COVID-19, EU gives federal government 50 million euros. And that's what we have on the cover of the Nation.
I have the Guardian newspaper in my hands now. It says how 100 billion naira ticket refunds may cripple travel agencies. Bank collateral at risk as IATA insists on remittances. British Airways, Emirates, Lufthansa pledge refund. It's the worst crisis ever in air travel sector. It also says that there's more on page 6. IMF again warns of recession in Nigeria, revises nation's GDP to minus 3.4%. Economy may recover by 2.5%. NLC insists on debt pardon, moratorium. Story starts there on the cover and continues on page 6. Meanwhile, Delta imposes curfew to track COVID-19 contacts, extends lockdown. TB vaccine doesn't contain coronavirus, WHO clarifies. Lagos communities resort to self-help, keeping vigil to check robbers. And 5 test positive, 1 dies of coronavirus in Katsina State. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
The Punch has the headline, federal government plans isolation centers at borders and 4,000 tests daily. And government traces 9,029 contacts, conducts 7,000 coronavirus tests. And Lagos uncovers 119 with symptoms in just 2 days house-to-house search. And Lagos also records 25 as cases jump to 373. Oyo to test 2,000. And IMF predicts worst depression in Nigeria's economy contracting by 3.4%. And amid coronavirus pandemic, Lassa fever kills 188 Nigerians. 80,000 apply for CBN 50 billion naira COVID-19 intervention fund. And National Assembly leaders meet Buhari, seek SIP reforms. And Oshun Facebook user remanded for alleged falsehood. And commission probes failed cosmetic surgeries. Nobody talks about that. And suspected herdsmen kidnap Oyo monarch's wife and daughter. Airlines bidding for evacuation of Nigerians in U.S., China. Suspected killer of woman evangelist, 18 others paraded. And finally, on the cover of The Punch, Ogun to suspend lockdown free days on Friday. And that's what we have on The Punch.
You mentioned something on plastic surgery.
Yeah, so failed plastic surgery. So
yeah,
there's a lot of botched surgeries that happen in Nigeria that nobody ever talks about. And because, you know, for many, people don't want to make it public that they engage in such things. So yeah, it's pretty tough when you put down 2 million for a surgery and it didn't work out, you know.
You know, there was quite a bit that happened, you know, over the past few days. A lot of different scenarios, you know, a lot of different theories and the like. We have the Daily Trust. I mentioned I took the Daily Trust cover earlier.
Yes, you did.
But I just wanted to go back to that graphic, the infographic on the cover of the Daily Trust, talking about the number of possible tests. You know, in the UK, I actually spoke to a friend in the UK who talked about the fact that even, you know, the medical care staff, they didn't have access to tests. You know, all around the world, they've been having challenges getting tests.
Testing is a big issue.
It is.
In order to be able to ascertain the exact number of people who have the disease or who require urgent help. So that's also quite important, because if you test and then you find out who has the disease, then you can move quickly to stem it.
Of course. And yeah, so basically there's quite a lot of information out there online right now, and hopefully we'll be able to get as many tests done as possible soon enough.
All right, so we've got the Nigerian Tribune, the headline on the Tribune. It says, Nigeria heading into its worst recession in over 30 years. 20 million Nigerians may lose jobs. Experts warn then EU donates 50 million euro to Nigeria to fight coronavirus. Fund to be channeled to basket fund, says SGF. And we identified 119 people with COVID-19 symptoms during house-to-house search, says Lagos State government. And Osun Delta extend lockdown by 14 days. Ondo imposes dusk to dawn curfew, and Ogun will be on total lockdown from Saturday. Nigeria records 19 new cases, total now 362. China approves 2 coronavirus vaccines for human trial. And How I Survived COVID-19 by Ireland-based Nigerian, that story is on page 4. Why Amotekun has not taken off, Dawn Commission. And Emefiele announces 3 strategies to strengthen the economy. And Makinde flags off testing of 2,000 Oyo residents for COVID-19. Nasarawa government intervenes to resolve TIV Jukun crisis in Taraba, Benue. And police arrest female armorer of kidnapped gang. And finally, on the cover of the Nigerian Tribune, COVID-19 total lockdown of North will come at very high cost, say the governors. Wow.
It's just, there's so much happening. It's
so much
such
happening.
A twist.
So much happening, and people are having to adjust even when they're not ready. They're having to make substantial adjustments to their own lives, to their business, and all of that. So that's going on right now.
It's even a weird shift I saw. I'm not sure how true it is, but apparently there are a lot of Americans trying to get into Mexico, as opposed to Mexicans trying to get into the So there was a time they were trying to stop Mexicans getting
into... Is that verified?
Well, apparently, you know, there are a lot of people trying to get out of America right now. A lot of people wanted to go to U.S. I must go to U.S. You know, it's just...
All right, we have our lovely pancakes ready. A strawberry and chocolate pancakes. So we're going to be moving on to the next aspect now, where we'll be frying our vegetables and sausage. We sauteed the vegetables, then add the sausage to it. That's what we're doing next. Just add using the same pan, just add little oil. Just a little oil. As soon as the oil is hot. Our filling is set now. We have our vegetables, sauteed vegetables with our sausages. our shredded sausages. I had to shred the sausages so that we'll have a good blend of each oil. We'll have our shredded sausage and our vegetables. Now we have a smooth puree. We've achieved a very smooth paste now we have here. So we want to separate it so that we have our different flavors. We'll separate, just turn some into a separate bowl because we have two different flavors. I think this is okay. Or we can add, yeah, this is fine. So we turn our chocolate flavor into this, the cocoa powder into this. Like I said, you don't turn oil. So our chocolate mixture is set. We have a smooth mixture of our chocolate. So we are going over now to mix our strawberry. Today our strawberry mixture, like I said. Today our strawberry mixture, like I said. You can use your spoon as well. So we just use 1 teaspoon of food coloring. If you have your pink food coloring, you can use it. If you have red, you just add 1 teaspoon and you're fine. So you mix. We have our strawberry and chocolate mix set now. We are going to fry them right away with our vegetable oil, of course. So we just put a little. For the beginning, add some oil into the pan. Let it go round. Let it go round. Then turn it off. You drain off everything. Make sure everything is out of the pan because we really don't need much oil. And we must make use of a non-stick pan, please, so that you don't have to do. Then you get a scoop. This scoop you can actually, but if you don't have this, you can use your regular spoon. You can use your spoon, your kitchen spoon. You can use this if you don't have that scoop. So anything you have at home, please use. Remember, we're trying to make a simple recipe. Anything that will not bore you, that will not make you go out looking for what to do, what to use. We still have some oil here, so you just drain it off. Make sure your oil is free of pan, yet non-sticky. Hold that first. Because we're going to be wrapping it up, so we need it flat. So let it go like this. I'll see, making sure that we're maintaining a round shape, round flat shape. After which we'll get a spatula. Make use of a wooden or a plastic spatula so that you will not scrape off your pan. Just making sure that it doesn't stick. It doesn't stick to the pan, yeah? So you go. You flip over. Yes, inside actually brown already. So our pancake is set. Just flip over to make sure that you have a bit brown. So now this one is ready. You can fry another strawberry, or let's just fry one chocolate so that you can see that as well. It's the same mixture, the same procedure. Let's go. Now we have our filling sets, we have our pancakes, and there's something I want to introduce quickly. We have a mixture of this cream here. This is mayonnaise, ketchup, and a little honey. I want to add it to it. Now you make it creamy. You can use anything you have. If it's mayonnaise you have, you can just add to it. If it's ketchup alone, add to it. Whatever taste you want to bring out. If you have your stew, the regular tomato stew, add to it to make it, just to make it creamy. So now we have this cream in here. It's actually optional. If you don't want, you cannot add it. If you don't want, you might not need to add it. Just add whatever cream of your choice. Yeah. Now it is yummy. I feel like eating this. Now we're going straight to the filling. Don't worry, I've washed my hands are clean. If you have gloves, I would have used gloves, but because I'm working from home, you really don't need to use gloves. If you have gloves, fine, you can use both. Okay, with your clean hands, make sure you wash your hands before doing this, please. You have your filling. If you are working with your kids, tell them to wash their hands as well. Then you feel, see the yummy filling we have here. So I'm just trying to make it rich like this. You can reduce your filling if you want to. Just any which way. It's fine. I think the filling is much. Let me reduce it. Yeah. Here you go. So you have your first wrap. Then like I said, depends on how you want your filling. You have your other wrap. Next. Yes, we have our lovely pancake set. Our pancakes with vegetable and sausage filling. This is actually yummy. My daughter calls it shancake. I don't know why she says it looks like shawarma and pancake. But whatever it is, you have your lovely recipe and it's very easy to make from the comfort of your home. You can do it with your tea, your beverage, your drink, whatever drink you choose to use. It is actually nice. So from here, it's a bye. See you again some other time. Let me write this.
Welcome back. Now, there are so many different ways to amplify your bedroom and ensure that your bedroom space looks fabulous, modern. And we have an interior designer, in fact, the creative director of The Exclusive Lifestyle Interiors, Tunde Shanu, on the line. Hello, Tunde.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Welcome to the show. Now, Tunde is going to be talking about 8 different ways that we can spruce up our bedroom space. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right then, now, you know everybody is in a lockdown and they're probably looking at their bedroom space right now and thinking, wow, I'm gonna be in this place for another 2 weeks. What sort of advice would you give to people that want to just make some adjustments in and around their bedroom spaces?
Yeah, to make adjustments in your bedroom space, you need to first look at your color. Yeah, so basically to brighten up your space, I think we need to use like a light color palette.
Okay.
For example, you can use like a white on your wall, use a neutral color for your chairs, and maybe like ash color for your floor to just brighten it up and make it come alive. Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's the first step.
Yeah. Then you can use mirrors to magnify your space to give an ambience of a larger space than it really is. So say placing a mirror at strategic point in your room makes your space look livelier. So you can use like a frame mirror. You can make like your cabinet like have mirror faces, and that enhances your space too. Then we can also do lighting. Lighting is a very, very, very key part of enhancing your space. Yes. So you have your ambient lighting and your task lighting. Your task lighting basically are lights for specific purposes. Like maybe on your reading table, you have your task light to help you, see what you're reading and all that. And your ambient lights are your ceiling lights and your wall lamps basically are the ambient lights. So you need to pay good attention on those to.
Okay, so I want to take us from the beginning. We started with color, and you mentioned brightening up the space with, brighter colors. You talked about maybe adding white, maybe adding like a light ash gray.
Light colors, yeah.
You also talked about mirrors, using mirrors to amplify the space, to make the place look bigger. And of course, if you have white or bright colors on your walls, that will help to bounce off that color. Then you mentioned lighting. Now, lighting for many, they just think of a light bulb on the ceiling. Can you give us a little description of the types of lighting you mean? For instance, are we talking about going to find some huge chandelier, or what are we saying?
Lighting basically comes in many faces. Let's say you're designing, you're at the point of designing. Windows matter. You need to have like good number of windows to create lighting. So beyond that, just in case, let's say you are in a space where you just have one window, then you need to focus on your ambient lighting. So ambient lighting basically are ceiling lighting or wall lamps at the top of your room. So you need to make sure that you have you use bright lighting. You can have a chandelier in the center of your space to increase your lighting, and you have mood lighting. The chandeliers might have like 3 types of light. You can have the warm light, the white light, and the colored one to change your mood.
Okay. So that's 3 major ideas now. I have a feeling you have a few more that you want to share with us.
Yes, I do. You can basically also incorporate multifunctional furniture into your space to create life for your space. Yeah, so multifunctional furnitures are like, you can have like ottoman in your living space, and the ottoman can also be a storage compartment where you can put your newspaper and all that into newspaper magazines into without cluttering your space. Because a lot of people always have too much going on in their spaces. So, and as designers, we say less is more.
Okay, less is more. So to declutter, for instance, an ottoman, I know an ottoman makes reference to like a kind of table-like stool that has a space inside.
Or footstool-like.
Like a push stool, yes.
Yeah.
So basically, the padded type.
The center table too.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so what else? I'm thinking, so this is my bedroom, right? I want an entertainment area in my room. Do you advise your clients against it, or would you add that to it, being that everyone is at home right now?
Yeah, I would advise against it. But I'll tell my clients to make it minimal, because your bedroom space is a space that you basically want to come into and relax. Rather than basically, if you want to get entertained, you can go to your living room. So to that extent, I would say you can have a small TV, nothing too big or bogus, and your sound system too can be in your room, just in case you want to listen to music. So your bedroom should have like a feature wall anyway for you to put all the things. So it works actually. I'll advise my parents for that at this time.
Okay, so we've been talking about the bedroom all this time, and we haven't actually talked about the bed itself.
Yeah.
So making reference to the bed now, what would you advise?
Yeah, your bed should be very comfortable. Depending on your room size, you can have a 6x6 bed, that's a king size bed, or you can have a 4x6 bed, which is a big regular size bed, depending on the size of your room. Let's say you have a 10 square meter room. You shouldn't go and put a 6x6 bed there. You should use like a 4.5x6 bed or 4x6 bed. And your bed should be comfortable. You should pay particular attention to the kind of mattress you buy. Because if you make your bed and you buy a light foam mattress and your body sinks in, it will create problems for you. You tend to have body ache and all that. So you need to pay particular attention to the kind of mattress you use on your bed. Then your bedding are very important. Your pillow, your bed cover, and your duvet. Because you need to pay particular attention to them because their colors matter.
Okay.
You should choose duvet, pillow, cases with colors that match your room. For example, let's say you have a cream wall. So that means your duvet covers, your pillow covers should have touch of cream on them, or just neutral touch of cream on them, or just neutral colors to blend with your wall.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're saying that my beddings, that's the pillowcases, the bed sheets, the duvet covers, you're saying that they need to match the room, right?
Yeah, they need to
All right.
complement it. Much more than matching it, I'll just say complement it.
Complement it, that's the right word. Now, a lot of us have been at home. Thank you so much, Tunde. A lot of us have been at home thinking about what we can do with this spare extra time. And Mr. Tunde Shanu has been a great help. Thank you once again for joining us. All right, we have still quite a bit happening on the show today.
Welcome back. It's the third hour of the show and the final block.
Yes,
and it's been an awesome experience so far.
Yes, it's been a birthday mommy experience thing for me. The kids just called.
We should have video called them or something.
Yeah,
maybe next time.
Maybe. Well, there's actually going to be something like that a bit later on today, but there's a lesson to be learned in every situation, as great things never come from a comfort zone. You need to remember that if you don't have to be out, please stay indoors. Please observe the highest level of personal hygiene.
Yeah, we still have so much more in store today. My name is Yomi Owope.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. You have two options. Stay right here with us or go online. You can stream live at tvcentertainment.tv and of course on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yeah, and send in your comments. Would like to hear from you on social media. Kindly use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
And if you haven't yet, you should download our app for both Android and iOS. It allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Anyway, we are going straight to the rest of the highlights of what we've got for you on the show today.
It's been quite a packed show today already.
Yes, it has.
But we still have MM and her amazing life hacks. She'll be showing us how to make a carrier bag from cloth. So your clothes that maybe just hanging out in the cupboard, you're wondering, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
She's gonna show us what to do.
On relationships, expert Theo Akatuba will be joining us via Skype to talk about love languages during the stay at home.
Very important one. And then finally, we have stand-up comedian and singer Otolori Kehinde Peter, popularly known as Kenny Blaq. Yeah, amazing stuff.
You know, it looks like sometimes it feels like he's more interested in music than in the comedy. But, you know, he does both quite well.
He did actually talk about the fact that he was singing for quite a while before, you know, he started comedy and then decided to blend the two.
A little bit like really Falls, I think, who also does some comedy and music. And so everybody knows he's funny.
It's going to be
skits
great.
Back in the days when he used to do, I think it was BBM at the time, where you used to share the live videos.
Honestly, with those glasses, it never gets old. Comedy and music do go together. It's a special blend. But we still have the life hacks coming up. And speaking of life hacks, there are quite a few videos online teaching people how to do stuff, new things. And this period is just giving people the opportunity to actually explore and try their hand
and
at
learn.
things.
Yesterday, we're talking about learning a new language as well.
A language.
You know, if you can, even if it's just the greetings and...
Do you think Mandarin should be one of those languages?
Should be one of them. In fact, there was a time some years ago where I thought I was going to be going to Brazil for some missionary work.
Okay.
And so we were mandated to learn
Portuguese.
Yeah, Brazilian Portuguese, because it was a bit different from the regular.
Me.
So we had started for a while before we then, you know.
It's like a mind switch kind of thing, especially with languages. You have to sort of let go of some things you thought you knew about how to communicate and start adjusting your mind to how this culture actually does things. The way people express themselves in different languages is really different.
Yeah, that's true.
When you express yourself through art and craft as well, it's really interesting. So on my Instagram page at Titi the Dynamite, I actually put up a post last week about a painting. So I made a painting while I was at home. I had the kids have this collection of paints, poster color, watercolor, all those kind of things. Yeah. And we had these old calendar papers, and I just stuck it up. I was ultra bored that day, ultra bored, and I just started painting, and it didn't come out too badly. And I'm like, yeah, this could be a thing. This could be a thing for me. Maybe I'm a closet artist underground.
So it was an abstract painting.
It was.
I didn't blending colors and just trying.
You need to go online and see that.
I'll go and check it out. I'm curious to see what you're actually saying.
It was fun, but I just made it work.
Hi everyone, how you doing today? Right, the shutdown is still ongoing, but hey, I'm here for you. I remember our last episode, I talked about rewashable bags being an essential item you need this period. Remember? Does this jog your memory? I hope it does. Alright, well, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a rewashable bag using t-shirt. Of course, it has to be an old one. So yeah, all you need is a pair of scissors, a marker, and of course the main ingredient, the old shirts. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to work with the hem of the t-shirt. So if you notice what I've done here, I've already started working on it, but I'm going to show you how I achieved this. So now I have my pair of scissors. What I did here basically was just cut up the hem of the shirts horizontally, as you can see. So you're cutting both sides of the shirts. Bear that in mind. Look, okay. So you're going to cut both sides of the shirt neatly and horizontally. So what am I trying to achieve here? I'm just going to show you in a bit. So I'm going to cut this off nicely and neatly. Well, it really doesn't have to be neat. Okay, so now I'm going to take both sides of the shirt and I am going to knot them or tie them. So I'm going to tie them nicely, just like I have done here. So I'm just going to do that quickly here and Then make sure it is well tightened so that it doesn't lose. Remember, we are keeping some of our must-have essentials in here, and you have to ensure that they don't fall off or fall out of the shirts. Okay, so I'm just going to note this here and move on. Yes, so now that we have achieved that here, as you can see, all of this part of the shirt has been knotted tightly. You can see I knotted them twice. Now let's move over to the sleeves of the shirt and the neck area. So as you can see, so this is where the marker comes in. So what I've done here is to mark out the part of the shirt I am going to be cutting off. So first of all, I'm just going to make a curve here, as you can see. So I've already cut out part of the shirt and I'm just going to go all the way now. So I have my pair of scissors and I'm going to ensure that I follow the marked out line. I'm going to follow that out, and there I have it. So take this out of the shirt and you have this here. Now you're wondering, where is the other sleeve of the shirt? I'm going to show you what I did with it in a bit using this other sleeve. So here I'm going to take my marker and I'm just going to make another map out this place. So if you notice, this is the arm of the shirt, or the sleeve of the shirt, part of it I'm taking it, take two. So if you notice here, I am marking out the part that I would like to take out of the shirt. Just in case you're wondering, what am I trying to create here? You'll find out in a bit. So now I have my pair of scissors and I am going to get to work. So I'm just going to cut this other sleeve out of the shirt. Please do this carefully and neatly. Alright, so there I have it. So now it looks like a singlet, right? I know, but guess what? We are creating a bag from this. See what I have here? So now your rewashable bag is ready, and whenever you use this, take two. So now our rewashable bag is ready and good to go. So you can hang it and you can put whatever items you have in it. Remember, you already sealed the hem of the shirt, so you don't need to worry about any of your items falling out of it. So the good thing about having a rewashable bag is they are made of cloth. So after every use, you can wash it, dry it under the sun, and you are good to go. And the best part of it is, after every use, you can wash this and dry it under the sun, free of germs and bacteria. And that's it for today.
And your wellness physician. Wellness, what is this concept? Look for definitions online in the dictionary and you find some variations. Well, I'll share with you the perspective of wellness that we adhere to and a definition that is more composite. Let's start. We say wellness is a perspective that looks at our health, giving respect to the source of our being. We look at your health from a perspective that gives reverence to the source of our being. that down further in a moment. And so we define wellness as 3 components. Number 1, the absence of disease. 2, balance, spirit, mind, body. 3, or joyfulness and excitement to life. You awake feeling just full of abundance and life and happiness and goodness. We further impart that there are 5 pillars to wellness: spiritual, mindset, nutrition, lifestyle, and environment. So let's break this down further. Wellness, when we say we look at your health from a perspective that gives reverence to the source of our being, we're saying there's a starting point for our health and wellness. We're saying there's a creator. We're saying there's somebody who did what? Who pre-programmed everything. Our default status is wellness, well-being, goodness. A bit strange. Some may see it as being totally unscientific, but guess what? There's science behind this. There's 5 pillars to wellness: spiritual, mindset, nutrition, lifestyle, and environment. Let's take the first pillar, spiritual. What are we? Are we physical beings having spiritual experiences, or are we spiritual beings having an earthly experience? We are spiritual beings. We've come in for a physical, temporal, limited experience in the physical world. At some point, we will continue the spiritual journey. And so in this physical journey, being balanced or tied to that spiritual component of us is very important. And see in other discussions, there's more depth to this. Number 2, mindset. How do we program our minds? What filters do we put up to see things, to understand things, to deal with events around us? You know, you've heard the saying, it's not what happens to us that matters, it's how we respond, it's how we react. And that's due to our programming, whether it's society or individual programming. Number 3, nutrition. There is a lot to say about nutrition, a lot. We'll leave that for another larger discussion. But just know this, in his perfection, when he created man and woman, where did he put us? In the Garden of Eden. Number 4, lifestyle. This is another vast arena. Everything from our social habits, our daily routines or lack of routines, exercise, lack of exercise, sleep, lack of sleep, things we put on ourselves, our physical adornments or lack of physical adornments, our aesthetics, where we hang out socially, the choices we make in that arena affect us, our health. Number 5, environment. Wow, wow, wow. Just look around us. Look around us. Is there much to be proud of in our environment here? We've done so much destruction. The waterways, the air, even the roads, the land, the gutters, the rivers. What are we doing? Environment, another large topic. So there are 5 pillars to wellness, but they're all built around that we are created in his image and likeness. Everything is from him and of him. This is Dr. Patrick Ejewere, your wellness physician.
Theo. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Are we on the phone or are we on Skype? I can't see anyone.
Hello.
Welcome back. Theophilus Akatuba is a Nigerian media practitioner. He's a life coach and marriage counselor. And he's going to be talking to us via Skype on love languages for couples staying at home. And, well, it is a big issue. We've had a lot of different conversations on how to improve on relationships at home. Good morning, Mr. Akatuba. Are you there?
Good morning.
Good
it's a
morning.
pleasure to be part of your beautiful morning.
It's great to have you. It's great to have you. For those that don't understand what love languages are, could you give us in simple terms, what is a love language?
Well, first of all, love language is that act that you do to the other that affirm to them that you indeed love them, is the act of giving to the other something among many things that demonstrate to them that you love them. That's what love language means in simple terms.
Okay. And how, as you know, from both sides of the couple, how do they identify what their love languages are?
But first of all, I like to start this way by saying that we have to speak the love language during lockdown. And I just want to give you 7, Theo Akatuba 7. There's popular 5 love languages, but 7. 1, act of service. 2, words of affirmation. 3, gift giving. Then quality time. Physical touch. Then I added love, and then submission. These 2, for a man, nothing surpasses submission from his wife to him. So these are the 7 love languages I'd like to touch on briefly and quickly. But the question you asked me is, how do you know your spouse's love language, right?
How do you identify your love language? How do you identify it?
You identify your love language. I think I will advise that you use elimination method. For example, you can look at all the things I have listed. Act of service. If service to you demonstrate from the other that the person loves you, or if it doesn't really matter to you, if somebody telling you you are doing well, thank you, I appreciate you, does not really faze you, you don't like to be praised for what you have done, you eliminate them by the ones that are not as important until you come to those ones that you know. If somebody tells me thank you, I feel better than when somebody simply gives me a gift. Some people say, I don't really care about gifts. So love languages, you can use the elimination method in order to conclude which one is indeed your love language.
Okay, based on your experience, you probably had a lot of conversations with people. Which of these love languages do they eliminate first? I would make reference to maybe the... Go ahead.
The first one people eliminate, first and foremost, is physical touch. Physical touch is good, but they quickly, because a lot of people want to feel something. So people say, quality time, Then move to physical touch. Then people tell you act of service is their biggest love language. Some other people will tell you words of affirmation. So at the end of the day, you look at it that act of service, very important. Words of affirmation, so important to the woman. Words of affirmation, so important to the woman. Then giving gift is very important to both divide on equal terms. So in terms of when I talk to people, those are the 3 that stands out the most.
Okay. I actually, just to round up, we would love to continue this particular topic next week. But I'm thinking about the fact that during the lockdown, it's kind of hard for some people to give gifts at this point. And if that is a love language for your partner, you're going to find it hard to communicate that love. So quickly, if you know that your hands are tied during this time when it comes to giving gifts, what would you advise they do?
What I advise is this. You can give a gift out of what is in the house. or when you go out to buy those little things for the house, just look at one small thing that your wife will like. For example, some will say their wife likes cake. So you look for a very special biscuit out of the normal essentials and buy it if you have the money. If you don't have the resources, you can give little other types of gifts that you might have kept and say, look, my wife, I appreciate you.
Then.
I have
So
that I
it's
want
not
you to
about the
take.
size of the gift, as you said. It's
Not
about
so that
the actual act of giving. Thank you very much.
of giving. That's the way it is.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akatugba, for joining us. And hopefully we can continue this conversation next week. Love languages are very, very important.
Unfortunately, you don't have the time for me to give proper explanation.
Don't worry. We're going to be continuing this conversation online, and you can always ask your questions via our social media handle at TVC Connect, hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. Yomi has been on standby in the kitchen. Now he's about to have a conversation with a very funny guy. Yomi, it's all yours.
Now, you know this guy, of course, he is a comedian, and also he is big on music, infusing music in his comedy. He's got a yearly show that he also organizes as well, and he's joining us also via Skype, and his name is the one and only Kenny Blaq.
Yes, boss. Yes, boss.
How you doing, man? How's it going?
I can perceive that food from here. The aroma is here.
Yeah, yes, indeed. How's it going? How's it been with you with this quarantine? Tell us what you have been up to.
It's been good. I don't stay in Ibadan, but the challenge has been amazing. It's been really crazy. You know, comedians like us, we get paid when we go for events. We get paid our balance when we go for events.
Yes.
But now it's crazy. We don't even have the advance. So we don't even have the advance. It's been crazy, but we thank God we've been able to, do some social media communication, try as much as possible, and go live on Instagram to engage with the fans. And thank God for some little investment, we've been able to survive. So at least this has taught us that you cannot have one stream of income. You have to diversify and wait for rainy days and sunny days and prepare for better days ahead. So it's been crazy, but we thank God.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. One of the things that people are using to pass their time right now is lots of laughs. You know, people are doing goofy videos. They're just trying to pass the time and make sure that they can cope properly with self-isolation and all of that. And a lot of these laughs come from comedians like you. Do you feel pressured to always try to be funny, especially during this period where everybody is on your page trying to see what else, if there's any new thing that you have brought up?
It gets to a point in the comedian's life where a lot of things are going on, and you have to be careful when it comes to being funny at this period.
Yeah.
We have to be very, very careful when it comes to being funny. This is a very, very sensitive issue. But at the same time, you just have to create humor around it. There are some days you want to pass your message across, but as a comedian, you have to put it on a lighter note. At the same time, pass your message. So I don't feel the pressure. Comedy is I used to tell people, comedy is like a ministry. You need to know if you are called. If you don't have it, you can't give it out. So it is. So many of us don't feel the pressure. We just flow. At the same time, be careful of how we pass the humor, so people don't misunderstand what you're trying to say.
Wow, that's actually really important. Passing your messages across in a humorous way, but also trying to avoid being insensitive because people are actually going through a lot right now. Exactly. Now, I wanted to pick up on that point. There's a lot of young people out there. I mean, you're a young guy, young comedian, but you've done so well. You've become really popular, and people are, you have lots of followers on social media and all of that. There are a lot of young people out there right now who are going through this challenge of just being at home. So they're very restless. They want to go out. They want to go out and have fun. But a lot of them also still don't understand why this isolation period is necessary, why they're locking us down in Lagos, in Abuja, and in Ogun State. Could you just give us a message for the young people who are at home right now and just a bit restless, and they might be tempted to go out and cause some trouble?
Okay. Nobody expected this to happen. Even if some people expected it to happen, nobody expected this to happen this soon. And some people are kind of prepared for it. Some have the facilities to reduce the level of the pandemic right now. But here in Nigeria, we don't really have the resources to, to cure this thing. There's no vaccine for it yet. We don't really have enough ventilators. So the best thing we can do right now is to stay at home. Self-isolate, quarantine, just stay at home. That is the only way we can prevent this from happening. I'm sure that if we all go out, the numbers we are seeing right now will have increased. So the best we can do is to stay at home. Use this opportunity to create new projects for yourself. Like me, I've been able to create new jokes, new materials. I've been able to understand what it is to bond with family. I've been able to sit down at home, and staying at home this period makes me realize that so this bulb is not even working, this way. I decided to fix the bulb. Oh, this AC is never even blowing. I decided to pay because on a normal day, I might not be able to be at home to take note of this little thing. So stay at home, self-isolate, call somebody, check up on someone, use this opportunity to go back to that project you abandoned, read books, listen to good music, Netflix and chill, and make sure you watch Wake Up Nigeria every morning, Wake Up Nigeria every morning, Wake Up Nigeria every morning. So you can be informed. Like me, I watch every morning, so keep informed. Do not focus on the negativity happening. Be positive and believe in the fact that you will come out of this and you come out of this as a better person, not as the person you used to be.
Wow, thank you so much for that. I know you do a lot of, you move around a lot of campuses as well with some of your shows around the West and even in the North, and it's been really good. So talk to us about what we should expect from Kenny Blaq for the rest of 2020. Hopefully, if things get back into normal in the next 1 month or 2 months, what should we expect from you? Are there movies in the pipeline? Are you going to be coming up with a number of shows? Are you going on the road to do your stand-up? What's going to be happening?
Okay, I'm going back. I should go back on tour. It is this period. It is easy for when this lockdown is off. It's easy for a banker to resume work. It's easy for a farmer to go back to the farm. It's easy for a lot of people to resume their office, but it's going to be really, really challenging for event organizers like us to bounce back because it is not easy to gather people around and say that, okay, let us do this. People might still have the fear that this is happening, so it's not going to be really easy. But as soon as this lockdown is out, there's a lot. I'm going back on tour. Like you said, I was on tour before this whole lockdown happened. I did some universities, and I'd love to go back and do more universities. I might not be able to do as much as the universities I plan to do, but I may just do some. At the same time, create more events so that people can come out and laugh and enjoy themselves. So I'm working on some kind of private shows, some public shows where people can come and forget about this whole pandemic thing, and I guess also share my own funny side of this lockdown. Because my brother, I have eaten breakfast 4 times this morning.
Excellent. So one of the questions I know you get a lot is this balance between music and comedy. You're quite talented in both. It's not everybody that has those kind of talents where it's almost on an equal footing that you can sing and also be a comedian. So
you're welcome.
If this comedy thing doesn't work in this 2020, are you just going to bring out an EP or something? Should we expect something like that?
I've always been asked this question, and comedy is my life. Music is the talent. Comedy is that in-built thing, it's what I do normally. I just decided to bring it on stage. But music is my life, so I've tried as much as possible to write serious songs, but I find myself writing funny songs. Well, I pray for the inspiration to write no more music after this whole pandemic is done. I've written quite a number of songs, but I think I might be able to put them out because the pressure is Kenny Blaq drop an EP. So first of all, I want to drop a comedy album. A music comedy album where you have some of my covers and I explain the reasons why these covers are these covers. For example, I did a song on Zlatan, Kampai Chumari Mari Chupa, and it's really, everybody really likes it right now. It's the Igbo version when I did Kampai Chumari Mari Chupa, Kampai Chumari Mari Chupa, Kampai Chumari Mari Chupa, Ewe, Chupa, Eko. So there's no way the comedy will want to go out. There's no way the comedy will not work. But if it doesn't work, like you said, because nobody knows tomorrow, my brother, I'll get a grand piano and start singing R&B.
All right, thank you so much, Kenny Blaq, for joining us. It's been awesome. We'd like to. I hope this is one of the shows you come on live with us right after this this quarantine period. Very important. So you have to make us that promise. But thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. I send the food.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll do that. We'll do that.
I can be food for
all right, then. We'll talk. We'll see you again pretty soon.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have to start rounding off the show now. It's been a great show today. And Kelly Blaq, thank you so much for joining us, and all the guests as well who joined us this morning, experts, Mr. Akatuba, and the rest of them who were able to give us a bit of information about what we need for our lives, especially during this social isolation period. Yeah. ATT, how's it going over there?
Yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a journey, but we're all in this together, everyone. It's going to be an amazing day on TVC. Stay tuned. We know that your view is coming up very, very soon. We have an amazing show in the afternoon as well called E-Splash, just to keep you company all day. Wrapping up today, but we'll be back 6 a.m. tomorrow. Bye.